Let's go. I am enough, you are enough. No more self-doubt, I know we are the rubber that pull myself out. Fuck feeling stuck.
Alright, welcome everyone. This is my podcast, When Men Heal. My podcast is basically going to be focused on men's mental health. It's something that I've become very passionate about after, personal experiences, which I will discuss throughout the series of the episodes. And also coming to discover, in general, men, boys, we don't really talk about our feelings and traumas and things like that, and how to heal, the healing journey, which is a never-ending journey, is something that we all have to go on that path at some point when we realize, we need some help with it, is from family, friends, the divine, therapy. There's so many ways. So, this is what I feel the Almighty has called me to do, is one of the things in my life. And feels like it's given me a purpose, because hopefully I can help and give back in this way by having more vulnerable, healthier conversations surrounding men and boys. So this is my first episode, and my guest on my first episode is my beautiful wife, who kind of pushed me to also do this. She's inspired me a lot to create this platform and do something that makes me feel like I'm doing something right in the world. Welcome guys, and I hope you gonna enjoy this and learn something from it. Welcome, baby.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel so honored to be your first guest.
Yes. I'm honored that you are my first guest.
Thank you.
So, I think we can talk about maybe how we met. I think people still think that I went to go travel at some point and met this woman, fell in love and got married. But that was not the case. We met in Joburg. I was working in Cape Town at the time, and finished the job here, auditioned for something in Joburg, got the job, and then moved up to Joburg.
Meanwhile, the one traveling was me, hey?
Oh yeah, you were kind of traveling, but you were working.
Yes.
You were working,
yes.
You were. That was 2017, no?
Yes, I arrived to South Africa in 2016.
2016.
But we met in 2017.
Is
yes,
it?
My second year.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I remember just before I left for Joburg, my dad passed away, my biological father. And I was like, I wasn't sure what to do at the time, But I had to delay my flight, stay for the funeral, and then eventually I went up to Joburg, and I was on the show. And while I was there, I was studying Spanish, because it's something that I wanted to do as part of a skill list for my career. And when I went to Joburg, I was looking for another place where I can study, and the universities were so expensive. And then I just decided, also because I just lost my dad, I just wanted to fill my time with so many things. I was doing salsa and kizomba classes. Then I wanted to do the Spanish, but because it was so expensive, I decided not to. And one day I just put up a post, because I knew with languages, if you stop, you kind of lose it.
Yeah.
And yeah, then I posted, and eventually one of the ladies in the salsa class that I was in mentioned that you there's a lady that works for her that you guys also offer Spanish classes
Mm-hmm.
at the time.
Yeah.
So what were you doing here at the time?
So I went to Joburg to work for an NGO
Mm-hmm.
called ISEC, present in many countries. So I was first volunteer with them in Mexico, and then I went to work like full time in Johannesburg. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you was supposed to be here for a year now?
yes. So
Okay.
I applied for a position that is temporal. It's just for 1 year. But then, because I love so much what I was doing, I decided to stay a second year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually leading the organization, and
That's so cool.
yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, so eventually I put the post up, she tagged you in my post, and I don't know, I reached out to you because I never went back to go check, and then one day she told me, hey, I added someone there that they give classes, and then eventually I reached out to you.
Yeah, you took very long in replying to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was not in a good space at the time. And then, I reached out to you, and eventually, then we met at the house
Yeah,
that
we
you were
set up
living.
a meeting, but I was not able to be your teacher because I was having another job. I was having two jobs.
Yeah.
So yeah, the lessons for me was not a possibility. But some other friends that were also in Johannesburg from Mexico, they had the time and the
Yeah.
knowledge, the availability to give you the lessons. So
Also
that's
because
what happened.
also because I wanted the lessons during the day. And I think, you were working during the day for this company
Yeah,
and for the NGO in the evening, basically.
yeah,
So you were like working all the time. And then we eventually met.
yeah,
That was an evening,
yeah,
with you and two of the other people there. Because then you said to me you won't be able to help me with the classes, but you'll introduce me to
precisely.
then they will help me. What was your first thoughts when we met?
You want to give my first impressions. So at the beginning, I remember I didn't like you that much.
Oh yeah, because of the late thing.
Yeah, yeah. Like I felt you were very rigid, or you had like a rigid personality because I could notice that you were not happy about me not replying immediately. Like, and I understand, like we
But
said
replying
previously.
immediately when we set up the meeting, and then I arrived and I
Yes.
waited outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I understand. Like, yeah, actually, I also did wrong there because, like, we said, I'm gonna be waiting for you, and you can just send me a message and I'll open for you. But I didn't respond immediately. I didn't see your message immediately. So, yeah, I noticed you were a bit upset about it, and you were very serious at the moment. And I was like,
I guess because I have a thing
what's
with
going on with him?
I have a thing with being on time. With what's the word? Why can't I get to it now?
You are very
Punctual.
punctual.
And you opposite of me.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
lot of issues with time management. I still have, but I think I
You're getting
manage
better.
it better. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, I have done my efforts too.
But also,
To
I
do
have to
better.
say that time, because I had just lost my dad, and I was in a weird space. Depression was like creeping, you know. I didn't have I felt like I didn't want to waste time, man. I didn't want to, just I didn't have time to waste, and having to wait for someone where because I'm trying to fill my time with doing so many things, so I don't have to deal with what was really happening inside. I guess, yeah, I came across rigid, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you also said it's because I think you mentioned something about you never, or you haven't met people that are so honest about just
Yeah,
how they
like
feel,
I
especially the
learned.
first time.
Yeah, I learned later that you are very honest in general. Like,
Mm,
just show whatever you are feeling, or just say what you think. And
yeah.
I was not used to people like that. Like, I feel like normally people don't show when they are upset about something like this, right?
Yeah.
People pretend like, no, it's fine, even if they are inside like, Ugh.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, for me it came across even a bit rude, but like
Mm.
later I understood better like where you were coming from and why you were like that and all of that. So yeah,
Yeah. Sorry about that.
it's okay. We are here now.
We are here now. We are here now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then I started taking classes. We may have sometimes we did bump into each other, like when you were at home or when I was having class late or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, because your classes were in the house where I was living. There was like a
Yeah,
office section there.
yeah.
So yeah, we will meet sometimes there.
And I saw you, but I didn't see you, if you
Mm.
know what I mean.
Mm.
Um, and now I look at you and I say how beautiful you are. And I was like, how was I so blind? But it was what I was feeling,
What you were going through.
what I was going through. And but what was beautiful about that was like there were times you guys like got together as the people that live in the house, and you'd have gatherings, and you the guys would invite me over. It was cool because there were so many people there from different parts of the world, and you guys were like not my first friends because I've lived in Joburg before, but it was like my coming back to Joburg, and you lived not too far from me. It was nice to like be around so many different people, you know.
Mm.
And then yeah, we would have chats and talks, and I remember yeah, one day we were talking outside, and you were talking about the the butterflies and the things that you see when you walk to get a taxi to take to work. And I guess in that moment I felt like, yo, you reminded me of the simple things in life.
Mm.
Because at that time I couldn't focus on the simple things. Because I remember the first day I had to be on set. I was not in a good space. I remember showering at a late call time, showering, and the next thing I know, I was in my towel on the bed, just crying. And I was like, shit, I need to go to work. How am I going to do this? I sat down, I wrote everything out that I was feeling. And luckily, they ran late and they were like, they canceled the day or canceled me for the day. So I was very grateful for that. And fast forward to when we were hanging out. Yeah, that kind of talking to you brought me back to like the simple things that I've been missing completely. Because that's the heaviest, I think, in terms of feeling depression that I've felt in my adult life, I think.
Mm.
Yeah. And then one day I asked you go to dinner,
Yeah.
and then you
That actually was the day we met. Um,
what?
but you left it open.
No, it
Um,
wasn't the day we met.
that's how I remember it.
No, the first day we met around the table when I came for the classes, I didn't ask you.
When I woke you out, you just said like, maybe one day we can go for dinner together.
No, man. Oh, I got it wrong then. No, it couldn't
That's
have
how
been
I
the
remember
first day.
it. Mm,
It can't be the first day.
okay.
You're saying, okay, like you're not convinced.
No, maybe it was like that. I remember it differently, but you know,
Wow.
like with time, like sometimes we mix memories, so
I get,
whatever is possible.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, then
Because remember, I thought you were into me before you were into me.
oh really?
Yeah.
Why did you think that?
Yeah, because you asked if we can
Oh,
go for
okay.
dinner. But you left it very open. You didn't say, oh, let's go this day, or
Yeah.
just the two of us, or you left it very open.
I can't even remember.
Mm,
But then I eventually reminded you, no?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you said, yeah, let's go.
Hmm.
And then?
And then here we are.
Yeah, then we started
So
going out.
the first time I thought it was a date, but it wasn't a date, because I remember you asked me, is like my housemates, are they not coming? And I was like, oh, I thought it was just the two of us.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was like, I can ask them, they are here. And you were like, no, it's fine.
No, man, baby. I think we got different things then now. Because I remember when I asked you and I said I was meaning us.
Okay.
Yeah. And the first date we went on was still in Melville. So I remember like going, that was the date.
Yes.
That was the getting to know each other. And then it took a while before we started actually, well, not a while. Yeah, we started dating like 2-3 months later.
No, I think it was quicker. I think
Is
it
it?
was just like a month later.
Really? No. Oh, we bad with timelines. Eh?
Yeah, for me it felt fast. But the thing is, after the first time we went out, we kept seeing each other a lot. Like, not just going out, but you sometimes will come just to see me at the house.
Yeah.
Or we will hang out also with my housemates and
Yeah.
things like that.
And eventually time passed. You came to meet my family. We were dating. And I still messaged your mom to say that, hey, I'm dating your daughter.
Yes.
And you eventually came to Worcester to meet my family. How was that for you?
Yeah, I remember I was very nervous, hey, because I remember you mentioned to me like you were one of the youngest, and you had more female siblings. You had just one brother, and the rest were females. And I thought, okay, he's one of the youngest. He has female siblings, and probably they are so protective with him. And now, like, also you are working on TV, so probably like they protect you a lot because of that as well. Like, I felt probably they adore you and they will feel like no one is enough for you. And yeah, I was very nervous, but as soon as I met them, I remember, my nervousness went away because they were so sweet and so kind. They are, like, that's just who they are. And yeah, they are amazing. They've been amazing with me. I'm just grateful for them.
I'm happy that you feel that way. And then, then it was time for you to go. And because your visa came to an end and we were like, what are we going to do? And I was like, let's try the long distance thing and see how it works. Because I never pictured myself doing that.
Well, before that, I just want to pause on the part that you wanted to come with me to Mexico when I was going back.
yeah, but I think before that I decided like let's try it, and then eventually I said
Mm.
I don't know, we're not good with timelines, but then I was like, why don't I go with you?
Yeah, and I was quite impressed that you wanted to do that.
Because
It's
the other
like,
day you
really?
asked me like, why did you do that? What were you thinking?
Yeah, because it's a long trip and it's expensive. Like,
Yeah,
let's be honest, it's not something that you
yeah,
just take out of your pocket.
yeah,
It's expensive. So,
and not knowing what would happen with us, and
exactly.
yeah,
Like, in my head, I never aim for, okay, we are gonna do this after I leave. Like for me, I was trying to just stay present and be in the moment
mm,
and not think about the future, not worry about are we gonna be together, are we not? I was just trying to be present and yeah, enjoy our time together. So when you mentioned to me these things, I was like positively impressed.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah, and then we left. I think it was in August
yeah,
of
I
2018.
think so.
Yeah, it was so nice because we went to Amsterdam and then Cancun and
Guadalajara.
Guadalajara,
Mm.
where you are from, and I met your family. And yo, I was so nervous because of the Spanish because people don't need to speak English there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Unless
no
you're in
one
a
in my
touristic,
family
yeah.
really has like a very good English. No, like some of them might know like words here and there, but yeah,
Mm.
no one was able to like have a full conversation with
In
you in English.
no, your cousins,
They tried,
yeah,
hey?
yeah. No, your cousins could.
Mm.
But I mean, it was like very minimal. Because I remember having to I had to have you next to me the whole time, like please don't leave my side. You had to be like
Mm.
my
Yeah.
translator. Um, so that was like, yeah, I remember meeting your mom and she still asked, like, do we speak English or Spanish with you? And I was so confident, like, no, speak Spanish,
Mm.
But the fourth day in Cancun, and because we were going out with your uncle and them, and they were showing us around, I remember I said to you, no, baby, you can go out with him. It's just the
Remember.
evening. And I called my sister and I was like, just please speak Afrikaans to me because I'm like, my brain was tired because everything was in Spanish. The menu, I was
I
like,
know
what am
that
I
feeling.
reading? Yeah.
Yeah.
But eventually, by the end of that trip, I was kind of like comfortable going
Mm.
everywhere because I was like, my main thing was, my main thing was to negotiate on the street.
Yeah, I remember
I was
you
like,
wanted to do
I
that.
need to know how to negotiate for things on the street,
Yeah. And you did
And
very well.
yeah, yeah, I did because I went every day, almost every
Yeah.
day, because there's so much of that there. So I would just go practice my Spanish there, like how to ask for a
Hmm.
discount, how to, because I love doing, I love doing that. And yeah, then I came back, and eventually, yeah, we had to decide to do long distance, see how it goes.
Yeah.
The first time we were separated for, well, you being in Mexico and me being back in South Africa, I think it was 9 months. Then you came to
Yeah.
visit, no?
I think the first time was 6 months
Was it
only.
6 months?
And then because the longest we were separated was 10 months and that was during COVID.
Yeah.
So
So the
yeah.
first time was 6 months, then you came to visit. And then I proposed. Eh?
Yeah.
Oh, but before I left, I still got you a promise ring. Ne?
Yes,
The
that was
first
really
trip,
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
got you a promise ring, and you did you know what it was? A promise ring. I can't
I
remember if we
think
discussed that.
yes, I think I've heard about it before, but for me it was not like something very common or was not
Yeah,
something that I was expecting
I think I
at
was doing
all.
also that because of the distance thing,
Yeah.
And then yeah, when you came to visit, I proposed. then we had to talk who's gonna move where, what we're gonna do. And yeah, we came to,
That talk was first before the engagement.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is it?
I think from that
Oh, in the
talk
time you
was
came to
that,
visit, ne?
yes.
And then I decided,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if I was gonna propose. It was,
Mm.
I thought about it, and then I think I went to a casting once as well. Were you with? Yeah, you were with me, and we came
Mm.
down, and there was a lady that worked there, and she was
Mm.
like, "The next time I see you, you guys must be married." I was like, so that for me was like hints, like just do it,
Yeah.
just you know.
Mm.
And yeah, eventually I just decided to ask you to propose, and yeah, and the decision was you were gonna come to South Africa, also because of career-wise, it would have been, well, we don't know. Maybe if I tried it, it would have been different. But at the time, we were like, career-wise, it's gonna be more difficult for me
Yeah.
to get work that side and start all over with being in the film industry. Whereas you could just work anywhere, kind of in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, for me it was a no-brainer because I have worked before in South Africa, in Johannesburg, and I felt like the job that I was doing at the time in Mexico, I could easily do it here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a no-brainer. And for you, it will have mean like you have to start from zero in
Yeah.
Mexico. So I didn't want that for you. Like I didn't want you to start from scratch when you had a career already here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but also, I have to mention this. You weren't planning to come to South Africa, no?
Before meeting you,
Yeah, before
no. Like
meeting.
for me, it was something temporary. Like
Mm.
I remember even saying to people like, "No, I don't want to stay. Like to live in South
Yeah.
Africa."
But you said you didn't know South Africa existed, no?
Before
Well,
coming, yeah, no,
yeah.
no. Yeah, we didn't talk about that part. So I applied first to the same position that I had in South Africa, but in France
Mm.
because I can speak some French. Well, I used to be better. I'm not as good anymore. But yeah, but my French was actually not that good as I thought. At least not for that position because that position implied like to talk to companies and do public relations and things. So yeah, but the person that interviewed me in France said, I'm gonna recommend you to someone that I know needs someone with your profile. And I was like, he's just saying. But he did recommend me. And that's how I got to know about South Africa because someone contacted me. But before that, I never knew that there was a country
And did you want
called
to?
South Africa.
You didn't want to come, no? Because I
Like,
remember you saying your mom was the one that said to you, yeah.
yeah, so I was hesitating a lot because according to what the organization does, I knew it was going to be a challenge to come to a country like South Africa with all the political situation that South Africa has, right? But after reading a lot about South Africa and knowing the situation and everything, I remember I told my mom, I don't know, like, I don't know if I can accept because this sounds very challenging. And she said, isn't that what you were looking for? Like for a challenge?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. She's actually right. Like, yeah, I wanted something that challenged me and that will help me to grow and develop myself more professionally. So, yeah, that's how I decided to come.
Yeah. And then we were okay, coming back to story arc. You went back after visiting and me proposing, and then we were planning to have the wedding that side because you were also leaving.
Yeah.
And then I think 9 months later, yeah, that's where the 9 months came in. yeah, I eventually went to Mexico, and we had to plan our wedding so quickly because I had to also bring certain documents,
Yes.
original documents, um, for them to, for the necessary documents for us to get married,
Yeah, for them to give us a date
for them to give us
and
a
give us
date
a judge.
and give us a
Yeah.
judge. Then we got married. Yeah, that felt like a big party to me.
It was a
Um,
nice party.
yeah, it was so cool. That was in February the 23rd, yeah, when we got married, and then I came back, and that's when lockdown happened. COVID. Yeah, I remember still being there, and they were talking about COVID, and I'm like, what? And then I was coming back at the beginning of March. I think this first or second I came back. And then that same week they were saying, yeah, we're going into lockdown.
Yeah, I still remember I was a bit worried because you were in LA. After
Yeah,
Mexico, you went to LA.
yeah,
And in the news, people was already talking about like closing borders and
yeah.
yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to it, man.
So I remember I was a bit worried, like you are gonna get stuck in the
Yeah,
USA. But no, you still managed
I
to
managed
get
to
out
just make it back.
and
And you were
arrive.
supposed to come a month and a half later but then
I couldn't.
lockdown everywhere. We didn't know what was
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Embassies closed.
Embassies
They
closed.
still send me a letter saying we are not giving visas at the moment. We will let you know.
That
Yeah.
was our COVID story. And
Yeah.
then it took 10 months again for you to finally arrive. And that was 2020.
2020. Yeah.
2020. 1st of January, actually. You
Yeah.
arrived
The
there and
31st of December, I was
you
traveling,
were traveling.
and
So
I
you didn't know
arrived
where you had New Year. What
in
I
the middle
like.
of the Atlantic,
Is it-
literally. Yeah.
And yeah, then you arrived
Yeah.
the 1st of January, and we were now, yeah, having to do marriage and living together. And it was the first 10 months was like a mystery, no? And yeah,
I think the biggest challenge when we were separated was to manage the frustration of we had this plan and it couldn't happen as we planned it. So, yeah, it was a bit frustrating. And the fact that we were missing each other, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank God for internet and video calls, and
Yep.
I think that saved us a lot. We were on the phone almost every day. Yeah. Yeah, then you arrived. Then we thought it was gonna be honeymoon phase, but shut it the fan
We
hard.
never had honeymoon phase.
Yeah. Yeah, then we were now officially living together and having to figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
How to communicate
Yeah.
as well. That was a big one. And I wish people had spoke more about what do they mean with communication, because people always say, no, you must meet each other halfway, sacrifice, communication. But then you learn that every relationship, whether it's intimate or family or whatever, there's ways that you have to communicate. Because I think we have this idea, or I had the idea of like, that will be easy.
It sounds easy because
We just
you hear it's about communication and you think, okay, I must just communicate what I feel and what I think.
Yeah.
So what is the problem with that, right?
Yeah. But then you realize, okay, you have different ways of communicating.
Yeah.
And
That the same word can have very different meanings or intensity of meaning for the both of us.
yeah. And then having to figure out how do we communicate with each other and what we understand. But I think that time we didn't really we didn't understand each other. It was just we argued.
Yeah.
We argued over the simplest of things. For me, it was like, this is common sense. For you, it's like, that is common sense. And I'm a very peculiar person. I like my things in a certain manner, whereas you are just like,
Very relaxed.
yeah, very relaxed and very like, no, it doesn't matter. And the time thing became a very big issue because I was always waiting for you, always, always, and it got to a point where things got really ugly. The arguments got really, really ugly. I think we realized like we're becoming toxic for each other. And I then also started seeing, oh shit, I have a temper. I have anger in me, And then eventually I joined a group. I had this interview actually with Lunga, and what was it called? The Price of Fame, something. Yeah, the Price of Fame. We connected. It was so cool, and I liked what they were doing with the support group, which is HTC, Healing Through Conversation. And I decided, like when we spoke, and I set up a meeting with them again, with Lunga and Saskia, I felt like, it's aligning with what I'm feeling, with what I want to do. Like I want to get better. I want to get on this healing journey of like, why am I so angry? Why am I struggling with my unhealthy way of dealing with conflict, in communication and losing my temper. You had your ways of dealing with conflict, which is also some of
Very
it.
avoidant at the beginning.
Yeah. So the unhealthy ways of us dealing with conflict just became like toxic towards each other. And I got into this group. We met like once a week. They still do it. And I think there I kind of started feeling like I'm not alone, until one day when one of the ladies mentioned, they had to apologize to an ex because they were abusive towards this person. And in that moment, I realized, like, because I was in an abusive relationship before, and this is not me saying I was the victim. I was a victim, but we're also perpetrators, because now I was the perpetrator. And I realized, like, I was never apologized to, so when she said that in the group, I was like, oh my God, I wasn't apologized to, and then it made me a bit emotional. And then I was like, I haven't dealt with this.
I was going to say, like, until that moment, you didn't know you still had to deal with that. Like, you haven't dealt with that.
I thought because it was over, it's over now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got out. Because I got out, it's not gonna happen anymore. I'm away from this thing, and I'm gonna be better. But then it started showing up in our marriage, and I mean, it got so bad that we separated. And I think in that moment when we separated, because we were going through the cycle, and I'm still grateful for, it was very painful, but I'm grateful for the fact that you decided, nah, you're leaving. This is not good. Because we tried to help each other, but we also couldn't help each other.
We couldn't in the moment.
We couldn't.
We were needing help individually to deal with our things, with our personal issues. So we couldn't help each other.
Yeah. I
into
realized, because I was in this group, but I realized I need a bit more than this, because this is a deeper, this thing is sitting really deep within me.
mm,
And it's something that I like swept under the carpet and put away and thought was fine until I saw like what it was doing to me, what it was doing to you, what it was doing to us. And yeah, in the time that we separated, um, I didn't know what was going to happen. And I think that after, uh, I just said earlier, but with my losing my dad was one of the most painful things. Then that became more painful, I think, than losing my dad, because here I was like dealing with this anger, and it's cost us to separate, and will probably cost us to the marriage, you know. And I remember like in those moments when it happened, the frustration and the guilt of what I'm doing, of feeling like what the am I doing? You know,
mm,
why is this happening? Like, I know this is not right. I know how we handling things, but why is it leading to this? You know, and the guilt afterwards. Like, I went to very dark places. Like, I felt like I didn't deserve you. I didn't deserve to live, because who would do something like this to someone that they love? You know, and why would two people who love each other do such things to each other? You know,
yeah, like
like,
we didn't know how to solve our issues,
you know, because I
and
was,
it was leading to that every time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also a way of like, I was the one that was like, I want to solve this now, which was, which is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing, because it's good for certain, for specific times, but with us, there's a lot of times it wasn't good, because the other side of that was like, with that was the way I wanted to deal with conflict, which was unhealthy. With you, um,
I
the
was trying to avoid the issues. I
you were
was trying
shutting
to
down.
avoid conflict. I didn't want to speak. I didn't want to talk to you anymore. Like, I
Yeah.
was just like asking for breaks, but also not coming out of the break. Like,
Mm.
yeah, like I was not taking the time to process things and then come to solve something. I
Yeah.
was just taking time away and not doing anything about it. So,
And that would lead to eventually you going, this is not working. That was our,
mm,
that was one of our peak points every time. It's like you going, I don't want to do this anymore.
which was also an issue and part of the avoiding that I was doing. Mm.
And that caused me like a lot. That made me very anxious, made me feel anxious, because I was like, oh, if we're gonna argue, you're gonna want to leave. And
Mm.
then it's like, how do we patch things back up together again?
Yeah.
You know? And it made me frustrated that we can't argue, but also our way of arguing wasn't healthy. So yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And then eventually, yeah, I went for to go see a clinical psychologist as in our time that we separated, because I was like, this is this has gone too far, and I don't like how I'm feeling about this. How like I felt like my self-worth was below zero. I felt like I almost didn't recognize myself at times, you know, because I knew like, what am I, this is wrong. Why am I continuing like this? In the beginning, I went like every week, you know. I think, yeah, for me, like one of my sisters helped me to pay, so I'm very grateful for that, you know. Um, and I could see like, I could feel the work happening, inside of me, because I'm always like wanting to work on myself. And this thing, I think the reason it frustrated me so much is because I couldn't fix it. Because I'm always like someone that's like, I do introspection, I pause and reflect every day, to just see, am I doing better? Am I, and this time with this, I was like so hard on myself, because I'm like, how am I not able to get through this? How can I not fix this? I'm going to the support group. I'm getting the information. The epiphanies are there, but I'm doing my prayers. I'm, asking the Almighty for help. But the last resort kind of was like, just go see a professional, because also, I think the reason it took so long is because growing up or in our communities, and especially with boys and men, going to see a professional meant like you had problems. There's something wrong with you,
Like
So
there's an issue now.
yeah, you know, because we were always told like, you just need to go to church, or someone needs to pray for you, and I'm not saying those things don't work. For me, I needed a bit, not more, but I needed something different as well, you know, because I saw like I couldn't, the prayer and people praying for me and me trying to do it on my own was not helping. I needed to like kind of figure out what was happening in my brain, what caused this thing to happen, and why am I repeating this kind of cycle, and why can't I get it under control? Until I went to therapy and working through it there. There's so many things that came out, that I didn't even think was an issue, That was some of the most surprising moments for me. Was like, I'd think of something, I'd mention it, and I would go on, and the psychologist is like, okay, let's pause there. Let's talk about this. And he's like, and I'm like, no, but I think that was nothing, because I understood. And he's like, no, okay, so this caused this, and this is this effect. And then I could start linking like why my brain works the way it works, why I think in a certain direction, And I had operated what they call a lot from a fight or flight mode, which is, you're on guard, you're ready to go, which you need. But some of us, like, we operate from there, and
it's not healthy to stay there for long.
Because the difficult part for me was to bring myself to a balanced kind of emotional state, to think clearly. Because, when you're angry, you don't think clear, until you come all the way down and you're like, that was so unnecessary or stupid. So for me, I was on alert the whole time. And that was, that was a struggle for me to bring myself back down. So I had to go through exercises that I had to do, And we were separated for about 2-3 months.
I think so, 3 months.
Yeah, where we didn't talk at all. And eventually, we got to see each other and decided like, we're gonna divorce. No. But we kept on meeting up and just to talk things through.
Yeah, we had to see each other to get divorced, and then we decided
to also speak about what happened and to kind of separate peacefully, or on a understanding that this was what it was. And
we were advised to go for counseling together, no?
Oh yes. Then we went for counseling. The marriage counseling was interesting because so we worked with a counselor. It was a lady, and I think for me the first thing, because I was with a psychologist, going to a counselor, and this is not to say all counselors are like that. But I felt like in our marriage counseling sessions, I said very openly what has happened, you know, where I went wrong. And I kind of felt like it was an elder aunt talking to me and saying, oh no, that's not okay. And it's like, you know, because I knew what was happening was not okay, and I wasn't there for you to tell me, no, that's not okay. I was there to go, we need help.
Yeah, it
We need
didn't
to.
feel like a neutral professional perspective, hey?
Yeah,
It felt like she was taking sides.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, like I said to you, like there was sessions with my psychologist where I spoke and spoke, and he would just keep quiet, and I'm like, I don't know if this is working, if it's. But then when we went to counseling, and then we went again, and then you went alone, because I was like, you go, but I think I'm gonna continue with the psychologist, and maybe you will continue with this lady, or you can find yourself your own psychologist, or you can go to the psychologist that I'm using, because I wasn't feeling comfortable in that space. I felt very like when I walked out of there, I was judged in a way, you know, because there's so many programs around protecting women, which I understand, right? But I feel like what I went through, it gave me purpose, gave me perspective, it gave me grace and mercy with others. And it opened my eyes to go, yeah. I started talking about it to my friends, and realizing I wasn't the only one going through it. And it made me question, like, when I got better, how many other men, even females, are there struggling with anger, but especially boys and men, because it's more prominent there because of how we are raised so differently in society. How many other men sit with this? It's not talking, because we only talk about things really if we are out having a party, drinking, whatever, you know, and then the next day you feel like, did I say too much? And I was always like very open anytime, any place, you know, because I felt like I was sharing something that I'm struggling with and what is helping me to heal. And I wanted people to know, like, you know, I wanted my friends to know. And some of them like coming back to me like, dude, I'm struggling with the same thing, or thank you for opening up and being vulnerable, you know. Because we are not really, as boys, we're not taught being vulnerable is seen as a weakness. You know, you get like, I know, like sometimes in certain groups of friends, I don't have that really anymore. But when I would talk about therapy and going, they're like, what is wrong with you? Like, you just need a drink, man, relax.
Yeah,
You
like
know?
you don't need the therapy. You just need to
Yeah.
go for a drink.
But I then realized, okay, that's also because they don't know how to talk. It makes them uncomfortable, you know, when you talk about these things, because it feels like, oof, you're being exposed, or, you know what I mean. But yeah, then we decided we're gonna give it another shot.
Yeah,
And
which also was not easy.
yeah, you also went to counseling on your own, but you also
Yeah.
didn't feel like it was working for you.
No, I felt personally like the counselor that I got had a perspective very based on traditional gender roles.
Mm-hmm.
And I could hear she was also quite religious and also leaning on that, which also I couldn't relate with. So yeah, in the moment I was also not comfortable with that counselor, and I was not feeling like this is helping me. like I'm getting distracted with these things that
Oh.
I can't relate with.
Yeah.
So like I was not able to talk openly and to dig deep into what I need to work on within myself, or what do I need to understand about my partner.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because there was this blanket thing of like looking at it from a kind of religious, traditional point of view,
Yeah.
which also sometimes doesn't really, like you say, go deep enough to understand, you know.
And I think it's also very important to understand and to highlight that families go through issues, and in our societies, yes, women in many cases are victims of terrible things, right? But also, like when a couple is going through issues, I think we need to sometimes also get rid of this mentality of one person is the victim and the other one is the perpetrator. Like, yes, in some cases it is like that.
Yeah.
But also sometimes it's just two human beings having issues, both of them, that they need to work on. And because they haven't worked on them, they are struggling to be together or to be together in harmony. And I think that's why I also was feeling like I need to see also a clinical psychologist, because I wanted help also with my personal things, with my personal issues, my personal traumas, my way to see life, and to understand myself better. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so then we eventually, we saw the psychologist I was seeing.
Yeah,
We started seeing
I
him.
went to my individual sessions with him as well.
But we first saw him together, I think, or what? I can't remember. But we had sessions together with him.
We have had sessions together, yeah, but I think I
You
started
also
going
first
on my
with-
own. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and we still do have sessions now every now and it's much less than what it was. But how is that for you? The difference between
A
going for marriage?
huge difference. It was a huge difference because, yeah, with the clinical psychologist, I started feeling like, okay, this is going somewhere. Like, I can actually talk openly. I'm not feeling like he's putting his personal perspective into this. I was feeling like I'm talking to a professional that is gonna try to help, like based on his knowledge, and that was actually helping me to understand myself better. Yeah, because actually the sessions were very much about me. Was not about us. Was not about what happened between us. Was more focused on me, and I think that was being more helpful in the moment.
Yeah, because we can sometimes get focused on us, but it's actually we need to focus individually on ourselves. That will make the us like better.
Exactly.
You know, because sometimes when you go us, we tend to blame the other person. You know what I mean? And I think that's like what I loved about going to the psychologist was like I went in there and I went for me. I was like, I need help
Yeah.
with this. And he understood that. And he said to me, okay, we can see there's a cycle. So that's what we're going to try and change. And this is how we're going to do it. And, you know, and I was so dedicated to doing it for myself, you know, because where my mind went, um, I didn't like the dark places my mind went when I get angry and all of that, you know, and why do I get so angry so quickly? And yeah, so the exercises helped. Timeouts, which we still sometimes struggle with. I mean, it's not a healing journey doesn't come to an end, you know. You just
It's an ongoing process.
and you try to improve the whole time, and new things come up.
Yeah, because also as human beings we keep changing, and
We have to get to know each other again,
yeah,
you know, because you might have liked this, but now a year later you don't like it anymore because you're changing, because you're discovering things about
or
yourself.
things that were important for you before also change, might not be important a year after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about where we are at now?
I think I'm very proud of us. I think, I mean, from the moment when we decided to get back together, I was quite impressed by all the work that you were doing within yourself, and how the way you behave was changing, and the conversations we were having were changing. And yeah, like I think it's been improving. Of course, that doesn't mean that it's always easy or that it's always perfect. Like still we have a lot of things to work on personally and as a couple. But yeah, I feel like it's getting to a better place.
Yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
improving.
that's what is important. We know each other better, we know ourselves better, and I trust that that tendency will keep showing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and we just gotta keep working at it, you know, and find the things that work for us that we can see helps us. It can be so many things. It's not just one thing, I believe. You know, I'm I like to try a lot of things to see. I mean, it could be from taking a walk, from doing breath work, from doing prayers, from getting up earlier, from reading, from watching podcasts. You know, podcasts help a lot as well for me. Reading certain books has also helped a lot. There's a guy whose book I loved. Jason, I forgot his surname now. It's an American guy that I'm following. His book was Cry Like a Man. And I love the honesty in there, you know, this podcast that I've watched where I loved how people just were opening up about, you know, what they were dealing with, especially like men, you know, because I feel like we need more out there for boys and men to be able to see that there's a way to have healthier conversations, and you know, you don't have to be stuck in thinking just one way or feeling like you are alone in whatever it is you're dealing with. There's so many things that that people deal with, you know. So yeah, my purpose with this podcast is to hopefully just see that you know, that our boys and men can see that we can have these conversations. It doesn't have to be taboo. because it just makes it easier for other people to then open up. Once you can acknowledge this is who you are, yeah, makes it easier for the next person to, even if they don't say anything, but I think you plant a seed, they do see it when you speak from an honest, truthful place. And that for me is always important because, like you said, I couldn't pretend to like that. That you took your, that you missed the time slot when we met. But, yeah. So I'm happy that we did this. And do you have any last thoughts or for women, for men, for couples on the healing journey?
I think just adding to what you were saying now, I would like to say that the more men start having this conversation, and the more men start addressing their feelings and their traumas and all of that, as a feminist, because I consider myself still a feminist, that can also help women, and that can also help for men and women to have better relationships. So yeah, I think this is a beautiful thing to do. I'm very proud of you for doing this.
Thank you, baby.
I'm very proud for the journey you decided to take on, so committed. And yeah, I trust that this is something that will also help a lot of more people, a lot of more men and women as a result. Because it's important to talk about these things, and to not just sweep it under the carpet,
Because I feel like when men heal, the world can heal. We can understand each other better. We can live in a better, safer world. We must also understand as men, we have such an important role to play, and we must celebrate ourselves more. We must be able to, like I always tell my friends, I'm proud of you, I love you, I admire this that you're doing, I admire that, because we don't really hear that in the from other men. We'll hear it from maybe our partners, but I know when I've heard it from men how it makes me feel, and I've seen when I say it to other men how it's made them feel. Sometimes it's uncomfortable because you're like, what do I do with this? Because this is like a guy saying this, but that should be normal, and we should be able to go, I feel that, and if you want to cry, you cry, because that is also one of the most beautiful things for me, is when men can be vulnerable and cry, because that I know brings healing. Yeah, for people to say it's okay to talk like this and open up, So, yeah. Anything else? Any last words?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, and I hope a lot of people is gonna start watching. I hope a lot of people is gonna take something for them.
Yeah, no, thank you for supporting me in this and pushing me to do this, baby. I really appreciate it. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. If you have any comments or anything you'd like us to discuss or me to discuss, please feel free to mention it in the comments. And thank you for joining, and see you on the next one. Salut! Thank you very much.
Let's go. I am enough, you are enough. No more self-doubt, I know we are the rubber that pull myself out. Fuck feeling stuck, I am enough, I am enough, you are enough. No more self-doubt, I know we are the rubber that pull myself out. Fuck feeling stuck, I am enough, I am enough. I feel the fire burning in my gut. We are not asking for much, we just want what is ours.